Well, Lightning Lane prices are getting higher and higher. At what point are we going to stop paying them? Also, Figment is popping up here and there, but not Epcot for some reason. We got a lot to talk about, and it's all tonight on ParksCenter. Welcome to ParksCenter for October 6, 2024. I'm your host, Rob Whiteside. Thank you guys, as always, for being with us. We appreciate you. If you haven't already, subscribe to WDWNT TV for more great content. And, of course, please give us a thumbs up as it helps people to find us. Speaking of finding people, we found these great people to talk to you tonight, including Desi.
Hey, I finally made the top box. I feel so special.
All for you. It's just for you. So lots of hearts tonight. Lots of hearts. Allie?
Hello, good evening. Wait, does it work down here?
No, it's all
No?
it's all in your camera. I know. We'll talk about it later. And of course, Zero representing Shannon. What's going on?
Boo to you and you and you and you. Happy
You are
ParksCenter.
You are feeling it. I love that. Oh boy, guess what? Right off the bat, Christine. She's like she wants to get Shannon moving and shaking and celebrating. So here we go. We got a super chat. Christine has a super chat and it says dance, and that's what she wanted, was a dance. And I hope you delivered. I don't know, that's between you guys, but thank you for the super chat right off the bat. We appreciate you.
Thanks,
Feel
Christine.
free to chat, super chat, hang out with us, talk in the chat here. We love hanging out and interacting with everybody. That's why we do it live. So one of the things that came up this week is I was at Disney World, and I don't know if you guys have been there in a while, but they charge you for things. They charge you for your park ticket, then they charge you for your hotel, and then they charge you for snacks, and they charge you for parking, and they charge you for any single solitary thing they can. And of course, as we all know now, they charge you for waiting in line. So the, I mean, and it's not like skipping the line. No, that's not what you do. You wait in just a shorter line. But the Lightning Lane prices were announced on September 29th that they would be going up. And the Lightning Lane prices were for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train up to a start of $13, Tron to $21, and Guardians to $18. And we were like, wow, that's not cheap. That's a lot of money to spend, especially if you think about something like a family of four. And this is the low price. This is like where it starts. Yeah. And so then the next thing is, oh, okay, well, we've got news for you. We're actually going to take the prices up again, but we're also throwing in Avatar Flight of Passage. So Tron went up $1, $22, or is going up $1 as of October 21st. Then Seven Dwarfs Mine Train went up $2 to $14, Guardians $1 to $19, and then they were like, you know what, let's just throw in Flight of Passage and go to $18. I don't see Rise in there, so I actually waited in line for Rise. I was going to, because my daughter wasn't feeling well and my wife is not moving around well, so I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to buy, which I've never done, the single lane pass. And I was like, I'm going to buy that, and you put it in your cart. It says, that'll be $100 for 4 people, and I'm like, delete, 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 delete. Nope, we're going to stand in line for 50 minutes, and it didn't even feel like 50 minutes, so I get why Rise isn't in here. But let's go to someone who's in the park all the time, Allie, and say, obviously you don't pay for Lightning Lanes, but do you see a lot of people doing this for the single pass?
It seems like, yeah, a lot of people do pay for it, and if you can afford it, obviously this is a good way to go because it saves you time and you can do more things and the lines are way shorter. But the prices are just going to keep going up, and as long as the lines are short enough to make it worth your money, I think people will continue to pay it. So if you're there on that once-in-a-lifetime trip and you're willing to drop the money for it, then people are going to drop the money for it and do it. So it's just going to keep happening.
And you know what? I'm going to go to Shannon on this one next, because what confuses, I think, most people, Shannon, and I think they tried to fix this with Lightning Lane Multipass and Lightning Lane Single Pass, is that if I'm that family from Topeka, no offense to anybody from Topeka, just throwing something out, that only gets to Disney, like you said, Allie, like once in a lifetime. And I go there and I pull up Lightning Lane. I'm like, okay, I'll pay for that. That lets me on to all the rides. Oh no, not all of them. All of them except for the ones you want to be on. Don't you think that's still confusing, Shannon?
Yeah, I mean the process is still confusing, and I think it's confusing for someone who goes there often, so it must be really confusing for a family who's coming for the first time and, they're trying to navigate all the other aspects of their vacation to Walt Disney World. So this is one other thing. And, for me what it's really become is I recently went for a full week and I purchased one lightning lane, and the reason why I even purchased it was more of a timing thing. I'm guaranteeing a day and a time that I'm going to go on this ride, because otherwise you're, at Disney's will of a boarding group. I got a Tiana's boarding group. It didn't get called till 10 o'clock at night, and I was doing other things by then. It happened another day as well. I didn't even end up getting a lightning lane for Tiana's because there were none available to buy, even if you wanted it, which is another problem. But that's
Well, and
another thing.
that is another weird thing is that again when we were there with Tiana, you had to Tiana is part of the multi-pass system
Right.
and not part of the single pass system. So you either have to get virtual queue or you have to get the Lightning Lane multi-pass and be able to reserve the Tiana attraction. So you can't wait in line for that one, but you also can't pay specifically for that one. So which is different than Tron now, which you can't do virtual queue, but you can do standby, but you also can pay. But that's different from Guardians, which is virtual queue or pay, but not Lightning Lane multi-pass. Is this simple? Is this easy enough? Now, I think the answer, Desi, is just move there and then go whenever you want to, and don't worry about lines. Or do you ever have to? Have you ever bought one?
No, I have never purchased a single attraction individual lightning lane in Florida. I will say that I did it for Journey to the Center of the Earth in Tokyo, and that was well worth it. But the prices in Tokyo are much cheaper than they are here in Florida. But if you're talking about whether or not it's worth it to move here, this week is not a good week to ask me that.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
in between hurricanes, and we'll definitely talk about that before the show is over. So, yeah, and you know what? Honestly, Lightning Lane multipass, I'm okay with buying that if I'm only there, and we were only there for like 2.5 days, and again, trying to make it easier for my family. If it were just me, I just wait in line. I have a phone to keep me busy. I'm all good. But if it's, I'm trying to make things easier, and I do like the new system of being able to reserve 7 days in advance. But even that is going to get to a point where it's going to price us out of being able to do it, because
Yeah.
this was a quick trip. We already have annual pass, but we still had to pay for a hotel. We still had to pay for food. We still have to, again, pay for a Lightning Lane for that. So it's a little. It makes you decide. And again, Allie, you and I talked about the fact that Max Pass that existed in California was part of the top tier AP. And so now I don't have to think about it because I've already
Yeah.
paid in advance for it. It's already included. I'm going to use it. That's great. But now every time I go, I have to go, am I going to do that? So we didn't do it for like Epcot because we got there so late, and we were going to do food booths anyway. And so I'm glad we didn't do that because we ended up, it was pouring. That's another thing, 7 days in advance. You don't know that it's going to be pouring down
Yeah.
rain. Although it's Florida, it's always pouring down rain, right? So I don't know. It's very frustrating. I feel like they should have baked this in because I think a lot of people want all inclusive. That's kind of the
Yeah.
whole gist of the Walt Disney World Resort. You get there and it's all kind of included and taken care of, and you don't have all these one-offs. But let's move on while we're talking about money. Good Lord and butter. So we talked about this maybe last week on ParksCenter. We were talking about the cake bake shop and how it has been 900 years since it's been under construction, and what the heck is it like? I mean, I'm pretty sure that they throw up an Applebee's in a weekend, so I don't know what's taking so long for this to happen. But then they pulled down the walls this week and revealed the menu,
Yeah.
almost as if to say, "Shut up, man. We're doing it. We're opening it up." But the prices are Wow. The one that really gets me,
Yeah.
and I'm going to throw this to Shannon first because I feel like Shannon might have some opinions. All the food looks great, but the first thing that hit me was when it's hors d'oeuvres and it says charcuterie board, $78.
Oh my
What?
Yeah. So at first, when I saw the menu, I was actually a little pleased because there is a pretty big selection to choose from. And if you ever stay in the Crescent Lake area, Yacht Club and Beach Club both have really small counter service locations. And the Boardwalk Bakery, which I will continue to call it that, not the Boardwalk Deli, has a few more selections, but still pretty slim. So I was like, all right, you're getting some variety here. But Rob, I don't know if you knew this, but a standard carton of Oatly milk is $5.49. But why get that when you can buy a $10 glass of oat milk from the bakery section of this? That's not a lie. It's on the menu.
It's a convenience tax. I mean, they had to send Bill out to get that. I mean, it like, and then have it there for you. Like, if you
Not
wouldn't
sponsored
carry
by
that around.
Oatly.
Yeah, you wouldn't carry that around in your pocket, right? So that would be a problem. Before we go a step further, Shannon, you're going to be so excited about this. We have another super chat. Before we even go any further, I want to acknowledge a super chat from our good friend Jungle Cruiser. So are you ready? It's 3, 2, 1. Wow!
Oh,
Wow!
Look at
You
Zero
are
go.
that is serious. He says, if you think $23 is a high for a cheeseburger, I could do one better. The Ritz-Carlton by my house has a $75 cheeseburger and $20 for truffle fries. Must say, have done this once, and it was very delicious. Yeah, I appreciate that information, Jungle Cruiser. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, Victoria and Albert's, but like is going to be super expensive too. But you kind of know that that's a thing. The fact that they've taken what used to be the ESPN club where you could go and get a French dip, and now like for like $11, and now we have a $78 charcuterie board. Like, I don't know if you're swinging by the cake bake shop and you're like, do I want to drop $400 on lunch? Yeah, let's go by. I want to see the inside of this place. It looks fantastic from the other locations they have. So that's pretty exciting. I assume this has got to be on some route, Allie, that they make you go to report on. Have you been by there?
I went past today. Yeah. I mean, it looks fine. It's just it's expensive. I don't know who's going there. I'm never going to stop there. I'm not spending $26 on a piece of cake. I can walk into Epcot, go to the France Pavilion, and get 10 pieces of cake. But I do, hopefully I can hop along for the review because that is the only time I will be eating this food. I'm sure it's delicious, but I think we missed the mark here. We'll see.
Okay.
To be determined.
I could just picture you like on those benches facing the cake bake and like pulling like a ham sandwich out of like your like in a Glad bag.
My little
just
bag.
Like, yeah, exactly. Just going, hey. Yeah. Before we move on, any chance you're gonna be frequenting this place, Desi?
Considering a kid's PB&J is $18 for peanut butter and jelly, the kid's size. No, I don't think so.
What?
I can't imagine spending $18 on a PB&J for my kids. Each.
My favorite is the salmon sliders on the kids menu because you know what? There's nothing kids clamor for more than salmon, and it's only $22. So what a bargain that is. I don't know. Again, you hopefully you get what you pay for. Hopefully the food is amazing. For them to set these prices, right? For them to set these prices out
and get a whole cake. For
yeah. Well, you could. All right, let me put this in terms you'll understand. As you could stay at Pop Century, and it's much cheaper than the Star Cruiser was, but you want to be at the Star Cruiser.
Look, the Star Cruiser was worth every penny, and I will die on that hill. I am willing to pay Star Cruiser prices. I'm willing to pay for things that are ridiculous, like handbags. I am not willing to pay $18 for a PB&J.
I'm just saying, like, you know, Shannon's going to be bringing her own milk in. I mean, it's like, yeah, you're paying for the accessibility of these things. So I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to there's a new vacation club preview center at Disney's Polynesian Resort. I feel like, and Allie, I'm going to talk to you about this because I know you've been there, but I feel like this. First of all, I can't remember what was in this space before. It may have been offices. It's right
The
off
gallery,
the lobby
wasn't it?
Oh, was it? It's right off
An
the
art gallery.
Polynesian lobby. They call it a preview center, but there's basically an oversized touch screen in the corner of it, or in the back side of it. So that, and there's some Moana paintings and things, and what looks like a diaper changing table for some strange reason. I'm sure that's not what that is.
That was weird. That was
Yeah,
weird.
it's just right. It's just like this little table. It's like what are we doing over here? I don't know. But I like the concept of this door and it being able to, you can dial up different Disney Vacation Club locations and things like that. And obviously it's put in there as a way for DVC to get their name out there even more than the 18 kiosks that are in the parks. But talk to me a little bit about this. Is it as simple and plain as it looks here on the screen?
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it's nice that wall came down, but it was like, this is it. I already think there's too much DVC happening everywhere. I am not ever going to buy DVC. I am not the target audience. The little area is cute, but people were just in there sitting. Like, nobody's in there like, ooh, DVC, let's go. People were kind of looking at, like, the Moana artwork was really good in there. Like, I thought that was a nice touch, but the kids were just pushing on the buttons, and nobody's in there for DVC. I don't know.
No?
Could have been better. No.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, what I love about and again, you're like, oh, I would never buy that. Well, I did. Sorry. But I like the DVC lounges. But there's a lot to DVC that I don't get for people, and again, maybe I'm a little bit different. When we bought DVC, I didn't go get in a van with some strange dude and ride over to a property and then spend half of my day over getting sold a timeshare. I just kind of looked into it and then sort of bought it over the phone online rather than doing that, because I never could understand that. My sister-in-law used to always go, oh, well, if you go, they'll give you a $25 gift card. Yeah, how much did that day at Disney cost you for you to go get in that van and go over to that? I don't know what I mean, obviously they're making money because they keep building these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it didn't make you love the tower anymore, is what I'm guessing.
Oh, here's a fun fact. Tomorrow I get to go do the Poly Room tour. I have an 11 a.m. appointment to go do that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know why they're sending me, but
Maybe it's just gonna
but
turn your world upside down, and you'll come back on ParksCenter later and go, oh my gosh, the tower is so amazing. The rooms are fantastic.
room was great.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
report back.
I mean, we were on the monorail and going by, and I'm saying to my family, "Oh, wait till you see this." And they started to put the etchings and things on the front of the building, which, but when you drive by it, and they're like, "Oh, it looks nice," I'm like, "You cannot see." The Seven Seas Lagoon anymore. All you see
Right.
is this huge, you're gonna be able to see somebody Don't be on the floor where the monorail is, and if you are, make sure that you staple your curtains shut because it's right there. That's going to be insane when that happens. And again, we've said, let's just reserve judgment. Maybe it'll be awesome. Well, you can let us know, Allie. Let's move on. I don't know if you guys know this, but Disney World celebrated a little birthday this week. On October 1st, Disney World became 53 years young. It was fun to be there on the 50th, and then also, I guess, Epcot's 40th, but this was Epcot's 42nd birthday. So, Epcot opened on the same day, October 1st, and there was very little that was done to celebrate. And I know most people are like, it's the 53rd. What are they supposed to do? Something. Buttons, something, do something. But what they did was, and to our knowledge, this was a couple days late, is they threw out a pin for the 53rd, which I don't even quite get it. It's like a 53 stamp on an envelope, which just I'm confused about that. but when I'm looking at all this and I'm just like, I feel like obviously the big five, like 70 is coming up for Disneyland and 75th and, the 50th that we just did. So a lot of that stuff, I get that they would throw a little bit more of a dog and pony show because of that. But I don't know, Allie, coming from the land of Disneyland, don't they usually celebrate somehow? Like, don't they usually have like a cavalcade or something?
Yeah, they always had a cavalcade. Sometimes they would do pins. They would have cast members with little photo ops all over that you could take your photo and it'd say Disneyland's whatever birthday. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Here, you don't even know. It's like one sad pin.
Well, and for the blog, what they put out is a celebration of 25 years of Illuminations because it was Illuminations' birthday. So at least there was like some acknowledgement through WDWNT that, hey, by the way, the first was big. And I remember, like, I was telling my family, like, hey, it's going to be exciting. We're going to be there on October 1st. We're going to be at Epcot, and I'm like. It was like the Travolta thing where I'm like, there's nothing, not like, remember they used to do buttons, I feel like? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm probably asking too much for there to be a celebration of it every year. Would you say that, Shannon?
Yeah, I mean, what does it cost them to do buttons or even just a print to give everyone who comes in the park or leaves the park? I mean, we got those hats made out of paper on Disney Plus Day and buttons. So the least they could have done was something like that.
That's very true. That was Disney Plus Day. It was like the 4th Disney Plus Day. It wasn't even like the 5th one. Man, you're right. Now I really feel gypped. All right, hang on a second.
Hang on.
Hang on.
No.
We have another super chat. So I don't know. Are you ready? Can we do this? You ready? Perfect. Jungle Cruiser says, hey, don't throw Nick's maxi van under the bus. Did I do that? Did somebody here do that?
Was there? That must have been in relation to something in the chat. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. But whoever did it, stop it. Don't do it. And Jungle Cruiser, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. Let's move on to Figment because boy howdy did we have some clickbait. I hate to call out our team here, but we had a little thing on News Today that was like Figment in Shanghai. Here's the truth. There's a straw there's a straw clip that came to Shanghai. Now honestly, I don't know why. Like, I don't get why you would go, of all the parks, to go, who needs this straw clip is Shanghai. Let's send this to them. I mean, it's kind of cute. And honestly, I know I'm not a huge straw clip fan, which is odd since I collect literally every other piece of plastic that exists. But it was interesting to see that that's there. We think it may also be coming to Epcot. There was also another Inside Out 2 had another brief appearance of Figment that was found in the Easter eggs as they continued there. There were a bunch of Easter eggs in Imagination, or a couple in Imagination Land in the first movie. Now we have it in the second. Here's the thing. Why don't we stop talking about Figment and be about it? That's what I'd like to know. Why don't we have, like, I don't know, some other thing other than just a straw clip, Shannon? Like, why don't we have an actual, I don't know, news about an updated attraction maybe?
Yeah, well, doesn't this kind of acknowledge that they understand the popularity of Figment? The fact that they are going out of their way to do this? Maybe not so much to Shanghai. I feel like that was a mistake. I feel like someone shipped those to the wrong place. And they're like, we're just going to put these out. But in terms of the Easter eggs that were in Inside Out, I believe 1 as well, and 2.
Yeah.
They understand the value of Figment. So maybe they are teasing us for something big to come down the line eventually.
I mean, I guess, but also It's been a
Being
while.
optimistic here, Rob.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But again, we love Figment, the attraction, the original attraction. I've said this before. I was lucky enough to have worked the original attraction. When they butchered it up to what it is now, you can't ever put it back because of all the things they changed in it. And then they changed it again immediately because it still wasn't great. And the version we have now has been the version for the longest amount of time, and they do tease us every now and then. And he's the figurehead for Festival of the Arts, and they add him in like there's a collection for every festival that's Figment related. And then now we have a straw clip, and people like waited for 7 hours in line for popcorn buckets. Desi, when's it gonna happen?
Yes. I wish I knew. I don't know, but like I read my kids the little golden book all the time. They love that. They have seen the YouTube video of the old attraction. They keep, when do they get to go on it? And I'm like, oh, sorry, nope, not an option for you. And they had that big tease with Figment, like going into imagining like something was going to happen. But what, and when? If I had to guess, they're doing a movie about him, right?
Right.
Is that
with
still
Seth
happening?
Rogen.
So maybe after the movie, they're going to see if like how well that does before they determine what they're going to do with the ride.
I hope so. I don't know. It just feels like that with everything that came out about, they just spent 90 years redoing Epcot recently. And so now, you and I talked about that on Epcot Becoming. And so why wasn't that part of that plan? And I'd like to give Disney a lot of credit and say, hey, you know what? They've got something. They're working on something special for Figment. They want to make it right. Is that going to happen? I don't know. Well, to be determined, but at least there are little teases of it here and there. And I agree with you. It was probably a mistaken shipment. And the people in Shanghai opened up and went, what the? Oh, I guess we're selling this now. It's fine. It's Duffy's newest friend, Figment. Yeah. So anyway, let's move on to the alien sipper. Here's the thing. Is there are a lot of times where I will just, you know me, I get extreme FOMO about missing out on anything plastic. As a matter of fact, we were at Halloween Horror Nights and Jill and Joe, who are members of the Wiggs family, were like, "Hey, Rob, I know you like free plastic stuff. Go get a drink, and it has this cup." And I'm like, "Okay," I'm on board. They were like, "We know you like plastic stuff," and so when I had a great friend who was in California, and I would like message her constantly and going, "Hey, they have a special thing that only is in California. Can you hook me up?" And she's like, "Yeah. That's fine. We'll hook you up." She got me hooked up with the alien sipper, and I was excited about it. And then we were just there this week, and I'm basically tripping over alien sippers, and then my FOMO's kicking in hard. And I messaged her friend, and I'm like, "You did get this, right? Like before I pass on it and I don't buy another one, you do have this." She's like, "Yes, I have it. It's fine." But he's so cute. He's so freaking adorable, and I know that Desi has one on her shelf behind her, and you have this, and it's awesome, and you love it.
And I had it shipped to me from California
because again, we thought it was never coming.
Yeah, and thanks to the hurricane, it arrived. It was delayed shipping, and it arrived after I could have just gone to Disney World and bought one for myself here. So. Whatever. I'm happy to have it. My kids really wanted it.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And I also thought it was going to be I thought even if it came here, it would probably be just for like the Halloween party. And so I wouldn't get it anyways. But no, you can just walk into Magic Kingdom and get it whenever you want.
Sometimes things are only for the Halloween party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have gotten that one shipped to me instead. Oh well.
Yeah, I don't know. But again, when I was there and I was taking pictures of like the 900 at the ABC commissary that were all across the back, and I was just like, should I get a second one and maybe like so I could have it now for Halloween? And but I didn't. I was strong. I didn't do it, and it was all fine.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Allie, have you bought one? You have to have one, right?
No, I don't. Not for me. Nope. I got the
What?
teddies. No, it's passed on Stitch and on this. I got Teddy though.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, you passed on Stitch. I have no idea why, because that one's awesome. Are you? You know what? I'm not even sure I asked you. I know I didn't ask you, but if this Figment like straw thing comes to Epcot, are you going to pick that one up? Because I think you like the straw clips, don't you? No?
Me? No.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
No.
Well,
Zero straw
well,
clips.
Zero straw clips. Oh, I love Zero. Anyway, let's speaking of Zero. There was a Nightmare Before Christmas. This is I don't know if this is like fact or legend, but then when they did the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay for Disneyland, and they have like the Haunted Mansion Holiday, which I love. We love the Haunted Mansion Holiday.
Yeah.
Apparently, they made like a second set, and they were going to send it to Florida, and Florida was like, "No, thank you, we don't want this." And then they sent it to Tokyo, and now Tokyo has it, and the Haunted Mansion Holiday is returning to Tokyo, and looks freaking awesome. I would love to see that, and as a matter of fact, like. I know, Desi, you were just in Tokyo, so I don't know if when you were there, was the Haunted Mansion still open, or were they
Yeah.
working on this?
No, the Haunted Mansion was open while I was there, and it was really weird to go back in time. Like I was in the 90s again at that Haunted Mansion. But now I feel gypped. I mean, it was cool to like see the old Haunted Mansion again, but I've never seen a Haunted Mansion holiday in person because I didn't go during the holidays when I was in California.
Well, I feel like sometimes they'll leave it up for like almost most of the year.
Yeah,
Um,
they did.
there
They
was
did
that one
last
time it was
year.
still like kicking in March, right? I'm just, yeah. I don't know. It is literally my favorite overlay, and maybe borderline one of my favorite attractions
Yeah.
because of all of the changes that they make to it. But again, it would have been nice to have it in Florida so that we could see it more often. Maybe I would get spoiled and just see it too many times. I don't know. The other
No,
thing, very haunted mansion-y, is that they have a tiki mug, and it's a cup. It's a cup that
it's
they have
plastic. Yeah.
uh, at um, at Trader Sam's, and it is very cool looking. And here's the thing: is if this was just on a shelf at Disneyland, I probably would give it like a half a second thought. But because it's a food and beverage item and it's exclusive, I feel like I need to have it. It makes no sense. I get that it makes no sense, and they say like the first step is admitting you have a problem. I did, and I still want it. Like I've admitted I have a problem here, and like I mean, it's funny this Dole Whip. It's like a mango Dole Whip, and it says that, but the coloring of it's weird. It says it has green swirls, um, but I mean it looks pretty good. Allie, is this something you would have picked up if you were sitting out there?
Yeah, I did have Stephanie grab me that. I said if it's under $10, just grab me the cup. I do like Nightmare Before Christmas. Well, because I wasn't gonna buy the Matterhorn one, and then I ended up with it. Oh, when I bought the other mug, and I was like, oh, I don't hate this. So yeah, I caved. It's sitting with all of your stuff in California.
Oh, when are you gonna get out there? You get all of our stuff together. That would be great.
Oh,
No?
wait, what?
Wait, is this on? Did you not hear me? It's fine.
I didn't hear I cut
Um,
it out.
Okay. All right. Let's move on then. Let's talk about this. So there is exclusive merch, and I'm hoping. And let me look at this list again to make sure. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So there is exclusive merch for the VIP tour that they just released, and I'm gonna pull it up here in a second. But when I saw this, the first thing I thought of was actually the first person I thought of was Shannon, because I know Shannon did the Disneyland VIP tour, and I wondered,
Wait, what?
didn't you do a Disneyland VIP tour?
No, I
No,
did
you
walking
did
in
a
Walt's
behind the scenes.
footsteps. Yeah.
You did the behind the scenes. All right. So
Oh,
then
I
well.
never
did a
mind.
VIP tour here.
All right. Well, then there you go. So but my thing is like if I got to do a VIP tour, which I've not gotten to do a Disney VIP tour, I would want something that says, "Hey, I got to go on a freaking VIP tour." I don't know that I
Yeah,
would need a Spirit jersey or a Lounge Fly, but I know
I would.
that
I would.
you're you're like you're like, I don't know what you guys have, but I'll need one of everything, please. That's what, like, this little ornament, that's awesome. This little, like, lanyard and the pins, all that stuff.
$60?
I'd
I
pay
mean,
it.
if you're rolling VIP,
It's either that
come
or
on.
two
For a
pieces of cake.
lanyard?
If you're rolling VIP, why would you not want to go ahead and spend that extra? And that's exciting, because that's one of those things where you go, hey, I got to do something super special, and because of that, I bought something to remember it by. Whether you flaunt it in your friends' faces or you put it up on your shelf at your house with a special light underneath to make sure that everybody understands how unique this was, especially if it's $65. I think that's cool, especially, like, Club 33 stuff. That's neat to be able to have that stuff and go in and see it. I felt that way about the Star Cruiser stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, look
And
at
that,
me. I'm special. I got to go on the Star Cruiser. And then after it closed, you roll on down to the Orlando outlet, and they're like, how much do you want? You can have it, and it's 30% off. Like, it's
I
crazy.
feel like you're being really hurtful to me right now.
It's me too. It's me too. But so I feel that way about this. Like, if you're paying for the hard ticketed event for Mickey's Not So Scary, and then now they're selling the stuff to day guests, the first thing that tells me is now you've made it less special. Oh boy. Oh boy. And then the second thing you've basically told me is you can't sell it to the party guests. So now you've made it available to everyone because you're panicking and you need to get rid of this stuff. And honestly, I get both sides of it. Allie, I'm going to go to you. I get both sides of it. I get the whole, I want the teddy bear popcorn bucket, but you're only selling it to the people who go to the party. And I want the ears, but you only sell it to the people who are going to the party. But wait, now I can get it during the day.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like you're lessening it being special, or do you not really care?
I go back and forth. I feel like here they have way more merchandise, so it's not like the concern. But like these ears, I panicked and had Nana grab them for me on the opening day of Oogie Boogie Bash because they sold out of everything last year because they released everything at like 2 p.m. before the first party, and then they were sold out of Spirit jerseys because of all the resellers. So like they need to keep it party exclusive, at least initially, so that the resellers aren't buying it, and keep it special. And then if you have extra stuff, sell it after the fact at a discount and people will buy it. I think it should be exclusive.
Well, I do too, and we also had this problem with stuff that came from Batu at one point. They were like, you have to go to Batu. No, wait, you can get this at Keystone Closiers. Like, wait, what? Like, you can get it.
And now you can get it at Disney
down,
Springs, right?
You can get it at Downtown Disney. You can get it at Disney Springs.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? Okay, so that kind of stuff bothers me. I was looking in here in the chat, and Todd W says they need some exclusive VIP cake shop merch. So again, Desi, I think you're in the same boat that I am. Like, there was a lot of that stuff that was exclusive to Star Cruiser that I thought, okay, I paid a lot for this experience. I'm very grateful that I was able to do this experience. And then you see it discounted on shopdisney.com or disneystore.com, and you see it discounted at the outlets. How do you feel about, and again, my dad had he used the expression, it depends on whose ox is getting gored, meaning if you can't get into the party and you want the merch and you're able to get it, you're like, yes, make it available for everybody. If you were able to get into the party and you want something to say, hey, it was exclusive for me, and isn't this cool?
You know what? I am fine with them selling the Star Cruiser merch because some of it I regretted not buying. And so when they started selling it after the fact, I went in and bought it because I was like, dang, I should have bought it when I was on the Star Cruiser. So that's why I was happy with that. Although my kids found and opened my Star Cruiser merch last weekend. So now I wish it was still available so I can go buy some more. The VIP stuff, I am so upset that it wasn't available earlier this year in Walt Disney World when I went on my VIP tour, because I would have bought it. I would have bought it all because I want to be that bougie person who's like, look at me, I went on a VIP tour, I'm so cool. And that's the same reason I wanted to buy all the Star Cruisers. So I get wanting it to be exclusive, but I was also happy when they were selling it in the parks after the fact.
Yeah, no. At the outlets, I got this.
Ooh.
Oh,
So, and it's like Chandrilla Starline, all that stuff. I I agree. There was some stuff I was like, oh, thank goodness, I can still get my hands on it and pay 60% less. So yeah, I guess I get it. It's just one of those things that when another great example is D23 Expo. We got out to D23 Expo and there was a lot of stuff that was exclusive a few years ago, and then it showed up at Epcot, and you're like, well, wait a minute, you said. Now, you said it was exclusive. You said it was, but now you can go to Epcot and buy it. And then I thought, well, I'll just buy a set there were pins. And I was like, oh, I'll buy a set for my son since they're here. And now I can use my discount and it's cheaper. So again, I'm on both sides here. It's like I like the accessibility of it, but also if it's exclusive.
I'm also hoping that maybe that Teddy popcorn bucket becomes not exclusive anymore too. Just for pure selfish reasons.
I also think for the amount that you're paying for a VIP tour or Club 33, you should get more stuff for free included. For Adventures by Disney, you get pins every day. You get stuff before you travel. Also, at the end of your trip, they usually gift you a bag, a backpack, or a duffel bag for all the souvenirs and stuff. And that is branded merchandise that, guess what, you don't have to pay for. I mean, you are paying a small fortune for it. Same thing with getting married at Disney. I don't know if people know this, but if you get married at Disney, they send you lots of little gifts leading up to your wedding in the mail, and they're just like these little surprises and really cool stuff. And I mean, I feel like you should get that for the price you're paying.
Yep.
You do get a pin for going on a VIP tour, so that is included, and you got the magic bands and pins for going on the Star Cruiser.
And you get a pin for that you can't buy anywhere else. That, to my knowledge, when you do Savi's, you get that pin, right? I don't know that I've seen that on any pin trading boards. I hope not. I think if you get that, you need to hold on to that for dear life because it's part of a. What's that experience cost now? Savi's like $225 now for to make a lightsaber. Oh boy. Yeah. Anyway, would love to hear more from everybody else, like in the comments after the show about exclusive, because I do think that that's one of those things that probably everybody has a different opinion about, and it also depends on, again, how you're affected personally. If you went to something that was special and you want to be like a concert T-shirt or something like that, the I was there situation, and then the I was there can be sold to anyone. You know, what Frozone, I mean, not Frozone, syndrome, when it's like, when everybody's super, no one is. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want everybody to have a good time. That's the answer. So let's move on to shoulder stuff. I told Shannon when she came on with her headband, I was like, I thought that was maybe the Zero shoulder plush. There's shoulder plush has become a thing. What was the first one? Do we remember what the first one was? Because there's a shoulder plush Groot, there's a shoulder plush Chip and Dale, there's a shoulder plush Remy, there's an Orange Bird,
Maybe
there's
it
a
was
Figment.
Remy.
I feel
Remy
like
or
it was.
Figment?
No, I feel like it was the what's it called from Pandora?
Oh, the Banshee.
The
Oh, the
Banshee.
Banshee.
I think
Yeah.
the Banshee was the first one.
So there are these little teeny tiny stuffed things that you put a magnet under your shirt and then you put it here and then you walk around, and I'm sure that you only do this at Disney. I don't know. Do you see people walking around the Costco with them? Is that a thing? No. Like, I don't know. Why not? Like, you've spent the money, you might as well flex it. But this one came across my feed. Actually, my good friend, our good friend Jake sent this to me and was like, OMG, I have to have this. And I was like, why didn't this come up before? And it's the Kronk Angel and
so
Devil.
Yeah.
And it's a set from Emperor's New Groove. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, why wasn't this a thing before? Because, like, it's perfect. Like the angel on one side and the devil on the other, and you know, maybe you just walk around with one, or maybe you have both. I don't know, but like, I saw this and I was like, what? Why did this take so long to happen? However, they're not cheap. They are $39.99.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
two?
you don't. Yeah, how many you
It's
getting, Shannon?
only a little more than a cake.
Yeah, I mean, I love these, but it is kind of a deep cut, right? I mean, how many people do you think would know what that is? I mean, unless you pick up and look at the tag. I'd imagine that The Emperor's New Groove isn't the most popular movie, especially amongst younger generations now, which is really sad. But I guess they made it for us, right? We
Yeah.
need to go out and get it.
Well, I mean, and again, I mean, you could get this or half a charcuterie board
Yeah.
at the cake bake shop. What were you saying about it, Desi, before I cut away?
I think it's adorable. I think, I mean, you get two shoulder plush, so yeah, it's probably worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a bargain, obviously. And I know they've done more recently. They did the Raven, I think, from the Haunted Mansion, right? Is that one that they've done?
Yeah.
I've definitely bought one for my son for Figment, one for my wife that was Groot because those are kind of some of their favorite characters. But I don't know. Are you? Is your friend getting you these, Allie? Are you these coming to you?
No, I am not a shoulder buddy person either, but I love them. It is an amazing movie, and they need way more stuff from that movie. They're
Yeah.
cute,
No,
though.
I agree. I was looking at Disney has a Disney Eats IG account for the Disney Parks blog, and they have a new snack in I think it's Disneyland at the Candy
Disneyland, yeah,
Cauldron.
the
Yeah, the little
potion.
vial of
Yeah,
potion. Yeah,
yeah.
and then there was a photo op of the potion. I was having this argument with Patrick because we're going to be doing Emperor's New Groove for Halloween. Like that's October
Oh,
30th on Deep in the Plus. We're doing Emperor's New Groove, and he was like, "How is that Halloween?" I'm like, "Dude, they're flexing it all over the place for Halloween. That little the little the glow cube that they did
I
at
bought
Disneyland.
that. Yeah,
It's
that I
awesome, right?
bought. It's
Yeah.
great. I love it.
All right, let me ask you guys this. Hotel walk-up, hotel counter service, the food court at every hotel. For me personally, and I just want to ask, I want to go around the horn here. For me personally, my favorite one ever is the Mara. I can't tell you why,
Oh
but the
no.
Mara at Animal Kingdom, like, don't judge me, lady. The Mara at Animal Kingdom is my favorite one to go to. Tell me what yours is, then. We won't go in order, but tell me what yours is, Shannon.
Oh, the river is it? I don't know if the full name is River Roost, no, but the mill at Port Orleans, Riverside. You can't beat
Uh,
it, I don't think.
Not you can't beat that. Okay, Desi, what's
No.
yours? When you go into one,
Um, oh gosh, what's the one downstairs at the Polynesian with the Tonga toast?
Captain Cook's.
Captain Cook's. That's it. That's the one for me.
okay, and Allie.
Um, at a resort, I don't really do that. We
Oof.
always just stay at All Stars and just eat, you get the
They have a
tacos.
food court. They have a food court. I don't know. Like when we were there for Destination D23, Tom and I went to Gasparilla one day. Like got on the monorail, did that one because we knew Contempo was going to be slammed. And then there was a different day we went over to Captain Cook's. But like again, for me, for some reason, the Mara, like there's, it just, it's perfect, and I don't know why. It's very different now than it used to be because of COVID. They emptied out a bunch of stuff, and everything's a little more stark than it used to be. But the reason that I bring this up is that there has been a renovation at Everything Pop, and it looks to be almost a continued sanitization of Disney. Obviously, it's not completely open yet, but you can go around the outside of the building to get into the food court, and they've taken away a lot of the little things. This is cute. I like this. This looks very
Yeah.
Cabana Bay, honestly, at Universal. But it still looks
Cabana
cute.
Bay
It's had
wishes.
oh, okay.
Ooh.
It's had a refresh, so I don't know. That's kind of cool. So that's one thing, and they've got some new snacks in there, and obviously you got to have the tie-dye cheesecake. But the other thing is the Gasparilla Grill that I mentioned over at Grand Floridian. When I read this first, it says choose your own salad bar. And I was like, choose your own salad. It's not just a salad bar? No, it's not a salad bar because you order it and then behind glass, like a Chipotle or a Subway, you tell them what things you want on your salad and they will put it on
Nice.
your salad. I don't know. Is this too expensive for a salad? It's like $12 for a salad. Is that, I mean, again, talking about oat milk and things like that. Is it Oatly? Is that what it is? Is this
Yeah.
too expensive, Shannon?
No, I mean for Disney prices, I don't think so. for a good
Okay.
quality salad, which I would expect from the Grand Floridian, especially if it has protein included in that price.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess, again, it's going to be tough for, I think it's tough to get sometimes when you do table service or counter service when you walk up to get good food that is good for you sometimes. And I think that I like that Disney has broadened their horizons with plant-based offerings and this kind of a thing. But it didn't strike me until this point, which that there's not really a salad bar like, offering there's at most places. So I like the fact that this exists. If you guys are over in that vicinity or you're at the Magic Kingdom, you're like, man, I could really go for a $12 salad. Then just swing on over to Gasparilla Grill and you can get hooked up. Rise of the Resistance. As the story we told before is that they set up a temporary single rider line, and then they came back and they actually did it again. And the single rider line, the idea was that you would bypass all of the pre-show, like half the story. They've rerouted people through now to be able to do the whole thing. Desi, would you abandon your family and go single rider just so you could do Rise?
Yes. I mean, I've done it before because
But
my kids aren't tall enough to ride. So usually we do rider swap where one of us stands in line and then the other one goes. This makes way more sense because if I'm going to be riding single rider anyway, then yeah, please make it quicker for me so that I don't have to either leave my husband alone with the kids while I stand in line for an hour or vice versa. So yeah, I think it makes complete sense. It should have happened sooner.
Well, I mean, and again, one of the things that I really notice about the newer attractions, and I think we've talked about it a lot, is the lack of capacity. If you take something like the Riverboat or Tom Sawyer Island and you get rid of it for a Cars attraction, your capacity, you're not going to be able to give them an immersive, full, cool experience with that level of capacity. And we really see that in Rise of the Resistance and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run and a lot of the more modern attractions. The capacity isn't what Pirates is, load 50 people in a boat and push them down the water. So honestly, you want every one of those spaces filled. So I kind of love that this is an option. Allie, is this something that you would do?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't always want to stand in line for an hour, and I've been on the ride. I mean, I don't really care about the pre-show. I've seen it enough, so if that just gets me on the ride quicker, that's fine. Or if they're going to route us through the pre-show, also great as well. Just, yeah, more single rider. I'm in there by myself all the time. Give me all the single rider lines.
Yeah. Shannon?
Yeah, same as Allie. I go by myself sometimes, so I want all the single rider lines everywhere. So the more the merrier. Happy to see it here.
Okay. Well, again, I mean, I'm excited that there's a possibility that if I was there by myself, I could ride Rise and not have to wait as long in a line by myself. That would be very cool. Let's move on to talk about Desi, Allie. There's another hurricane coming, and this one again is the last one. Western North Carolina is still recovering. That one came up through the mountains and obviously hit Florida pretty hard, and then continued straight up the gut of to South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, and people are still recovering from that. And now here's another one that's coming in from the Gulf and straight across. Now I don't know if it makes it any less impactful that they called it Milton. Because that
I'm
doesn't
worried
sound.
he's going to burn my house down.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously Disney is already getting on board with, there's been a state of emergency issued for Walt Disney World and Universal Resort, but also the Walt Disney World has paused all its hotel reservations in preparation for the potential hurricane. I wonder, though, if part of the pausing all the reservations, we talked about this last week with Disney and the fact that they all do, that Disney does an amazing job of hurricane preparation, action during, and recovery from. And so I don't think if I was living there and had the means, there would be a much more exciting, there'd be anywhere else I'd rather be than at a Disney hotel. Maybe I'd want to stay and make sure my house didn't float away, but also, you're going to have power, you're going to have resources. And so I think that part of that's got to be that they pause it so that everybody doesn't like bum rush, all the hotels and overstaff it or overtake it, because you also need staff for that, and the staff is, going to be in harm's way and worried about their stuff and their houses and them getting to work and all that kind of stuff. So, what's the latest on that one as far as Desi? I know you said there's still a lot of debris in your neighborhood from the last one.
There is so much debris. I am very, very worried. Our house was okay, because we're on a hill, but because all of our neighbors around us got flooded, there's debris everywhere. So I did try to find a hotel, but obviously I can't get one at Disney World. So I got a different one in Orlando, because that just seems to be the place to go if you're here in St. Pete or Tampa, where it's like we're right on the water, we're right in the direct path of the storm. I get that Orlando is going to be hit as well, but I feel like it's still somewhat safer than being here on the water. And if you're going to evacuate somewhere, why not Disney World if you can? Because it's going to be safe, and they're going to do something to make it magical for you, like bringing out the characters, even if the parks are closed. And I probably still will go to the parks because it's such a good time to go when nobody's there.
So you're like kind of the weather guy in the parks, like you're just getting blown around Toy Story Land, but at least you don't have to wait for Toy Story Mania.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, where do you think we came up with this concept or this thought process. Where do you think the best park is to go if it's just raining? Like, what's the easiest if it's a full day park you're going to and you're going to spend the entire day there, but it's raining? What do you think the best one to go to is, Desi?
I mean, I went to Hollywood Studios during a hurricane and I had a great time. I also went to Magic Kingdom during a hurricane and like walked onto Peter Pan. So really any of them, honestly.
Yeah. Would you agree, Shannon?
Oh, I went to Epcot during Adalia and I was soaked, completely soaked. And there wasn't just, I feel like there's a lot of long stretches in Epcot where you're uncovered. I went to Magic Kingdom during Helene. Now, Helene was much less rain in the Disney area, but I felt like there were more places to duck and dive if you needed to stay out.
Are you bringing these troubles to Orlando? It sounds like you've been there for quite a few, honestly.
I have, yeah. Adalia definitely had more rain. I am concerned about this upcoming one, though. And yeah, Helene, I feel like they were a little overzealous, and like I don't think they needed to cancel Mickey's Not So Scary. It did end up being really windy, but no, not a lot of rain. But anyway.
Yeah, and Allie, you're
oh,
a
and
new
I
local.
will say, oh, sorry, I was also going to share that when I was there were definitely a lot of people that we met at the resort or just that we overheard, even when I was at breakfast one morning, that they did come from the St. Pete area. And they're like, yeah, we left and we're here and having a great time. So I wonder if a lot of people inundated them during Helene, and to get ahead of this next one, they're like, oh, we're just going to shut it off.
Everyone I know is going to Orlando.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I agree, because this article that we ran about them shutting down hotels ahead of time, I don't remember seeing that come out for Helene. So maybe again, Disney was like, wait a minute, we can't do this again. We don't have the resources. But I was going to say, Allie, as a new as a new Floridian, you've already had a couple of these things headed your way.
Right.
First of all, what do you think is the best place for rain? And secondly, how are you feeling about this storm?
I love the rain. Like, I was standing out in the rain last Wednesday watching the Epcot show in the pouring rain, and then it was raining all day today, and I'm just walking through it. No poncho, no umbrella, no regrets. So I'm so here for the rain at the park. I don't care. Send me anywhere. There's no lines. Don't care. Love it. My only thing with Magic Kingdom in the rain is a lot of those rides get shut down. So I feel like there's less to do at Magic Kingdom compared to some of the other parks. But yeah, here we are, hurricane number 3. I've been here 2 months, and I base my concern on Disney and the fact that Disney shutting down hotels and park reservations is making me maybe a little bit more concerned for this one. I know schools are already closing for Tuesday, Wednesday here. So
our schools are closed until
we'll
October 15th. That's when we get to go.
Wow.
Okay, well, I hope you all stay safe. So that we don't end on a complete low note. But again, very important to stay safe. So hopefully you guys are okay. You'll be in our thoughts, and we will follow the whole the track of that. You can stay tuned to wdwnt.com for more information and updates. But probably weather.com and CNN, maybe that might be better for you. Disney's Animal Kingdom, entertainment. The entertainment is such a big deal about, when you're at a Disney park. It's what makes it and elevates it and gives it that vibe when you're in a Disney park. And we've seen them add, but we've also seen them sadly subtract a lot recently. We saw them subtract in Avengers Campus and getting the Dora Milaje is there for 3 minutes on a Tuesday now, whereas they used to be there all the time. And then you've got the Doctor Strange show left, and then we saw a lot of cutbacks at Epcot for all the things that they had there. So it's nice to see that they're bringing some of this stuff back. I think a lot of it was sunset under the guise or the of it's COVID related, and now this far past it, I don't think that's a good excuse anymore. They're certainly charging me enough for Lightning Lane Multipass that they can afford to spend some money in other places. So Boudica, which is an amazing performance, happens in Animal Kingdom in the Harambe Village, and that has returned. We saw that returned a week ago, and then now they've added this new one over across from what was Flights of Wonder down here. And so I mean, this is a positive thing, right? A lot of times we kind of come at Disney for subtracting or raising prices or whatever, but I mean, I'm excited to see some of this stuff return, because even if you don't stop and spend a lot of time with them, it's still really kind of cool to be able to walk in and see some of this stuff happening again. Very different, Allie, from, I feel like, Disneyland. You see some of that stuff on Main Street, but you don't see it all over the place, I feel like. So I feel like I mean, do you think it's better in Florida?
Yeah, I mean, they're different. I don't think you can really compare them. And I feel like Animal Kingdom has always been a park that's very spread out, and it's just like a ride and then some entertainment. That new Beats and Strings group was really good. I enjoyed them. That was super authentic, and they seemed really happy to be there. And it's a really good addition. And even just today, walking into Animal Kingdom to Dino Land, you walk past, I don't know their name, that perform in the front right by that store. And, there's people dancing, they're singing, and it's just the park feels more alive. And you need that in all of these parks. So happy it's coming back.
Shannon?
I just want the Merry Menagerie to come back.
Oh, it will.
Which it has. I know it will. I know.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite one. And I know a lot of people were in uproar on social media saying, now we need to bring back everyone else. The Streetmosphere in Hollywood Studios and the Citizens of Main Street. So I don't know. I'm not as hopeful on that, but we'll see.
I say great moments in history from the Muppets. That's the thing that I would most like to see a return to. Desi, anything else on this one before we sign off for the night?
I was literally at Disney's Animal Kingdom, aka the best domestic park, yesterday. And I didn't know that they were back until you sent us the rundown earlier today. And I was like, dang it, if I knew that they were back, I would have gone yesterday. I would have gone out of my way to see them, because really I just spent all my day just lounging at Nomad, and I went on Dinosaur and Tough to Be a Bug just to say goodbye. That was
I love how you started that fight with me last week or the week before about how Animal Kingdom's the number one. I was like, it's number 6 for me. And you're like, how dare you? And you're like, I can go to Nomad Lounge all day. All I hear is Nomad Lounge from you. All I hear is Nomad Lounge for you. So we could talk about the best lounges, and I'll go ahead and give you that one. But I'm just saying,
Pandora, the best show, Festival of the Lion King, the best food. I mean, what doesn't Animal Kingdom have?
Okay.
Desi, let me know next time you're at Animal Kingdom.
Will do.
You guys can go and hang out and be best friends. That'll be awesome. Again, Nomad. That's the number one answer that you've given each and every time is, well, Nomad, and I can go and hang out there, and that's
because
fine.
I literally did just go and hang out there all day yesterday.
And you missed this fine entertainment. Yep, exactly. All right. Thank you guys for being with us on your Sunday night. We appreciate it. And, we know you have many choices on YouTube, so we appreciate you choosing us. Anyway, we want to give a shout out to our WIGS members. We love our WIGS, the WDWNT Interglobe Society. Thank you for being part of the family, for being with us here. We have a quick post show for you guys after this. Also, I wanted to shout out our show Deep in the Plus that we do every Wednesday night. Last 2 weeks ago, Desi and I were on arguing through Epcot becoming what? So check that one out. That one was a lot of fun. But coming up, we did Girl versus Monster. Patrick and I did that one last week. Ron and I are doing Blackbeard's Ghost this week. Desi's coming back for Edward Scissorhands. My friend Maleko's coming for Mickey Mouse Halloween Spooktacular because Desi said #not my Mickey. Emperor's New Groove, as we talked about, on October 30th. And then Desi once again for Agatha House of Harkness Season 1. Man, that's been a lot of fun to watch. So, and look, it's Zero again.
It's
so
not
thanks,
House
Zero.
of Harkness.
I know, it's not. It was Agatha all along. I love that bit. I love that bit that they kept calling it Coven of Chaos, House of Harkness. My bit is going to... Never mind. We're fine. It's all good. So Agatha all along is so good, but I love that they did that name change thing, so I felt like I would riff off of it. Anyway, Zero, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate your time and your support. And again, thank you guys all for being with us. Stay safe, please. And again... our thoughts go out to everyone in North Carolina and all they're still dealing with. The folks in Florida, please be safe, take care, be kind to one another, and we will see you next time.
Guess it's just me. Thanks, guys.
Oh, I'm putting my ears away.
Oh my god, my head's killing me.
You mean?
All right,
you guess
Rob,
it's
I'm bouncing.
Just because 4 a.m.